We finally did it. We got a custom Glock 43, and we're gonna go over all the cool little parts for the slide, the barrel, the compensator, the trigger, the mag extension, all that stuff. Let's talk about the 3 things that I don't like about it, and then we're gonna find out whether or not making it custom will actually change my mind or not. Number 1 thing that I don't like about the Glock 43s in general is the grip. It's not just because it's a shorter grip, it's because it's a thin grip. It's like I get too much knuckle over this front strap or something, and then when I go to pull the trigger, I get too much finger up here on the front. So when I'm going from the index position down, I always catch this right here, and I don't like that at all. So with the Glock 19, right, I can come from this position straight down to trigger. Like just boom, just like that. The Glock 26, same thing. I can go straight from here, trigger. The second thing that I never have cared for on the Glock 43 is the round capacity. The standard Glock 43 is a 6+1 capacity. Basically, it's 1 round more than most revolvers, so, you know, whatever. I guess somehow Glock has solved the capacity issue with the new ones that we're gonna be talking about here in a little bit. We're also gonna talk about whether or not we're gonna get one for the channel, but hey, let me know down in the comments before we go further. Would you rather me get the Glock 43X or the Glock 48 to do on the channel? Love to hear your feedback. So yeah, didn't like the grip, don't like the round capacity. And the third and final thing that I don't like about it is there's no light rail on it. And there's no light rail on the Glock 26 either, but at least Polymer 80 has frames that have light rails. Not that you can really find any decent lights that fit it, but you know what I mean. Now, I do believe that there are some lights that are available for these that kind of just go under the trigger guard and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, but they don't attach to a rail, but I've always liked having an accessory rail. Because I didn't like all that stuff about it, we've done a bunch of stuff to it to kind of correct some of them. We have the Shield Arms Glock 43 slide in this urban gray camo, along with their +2 mag extension in the urban gray camo. After we dive up close and stuff, we'll talk about coupon codes and prices and all that crazy stuff. I got the Apex trigger kit, I got a minus connector, I got the Agent night sights on here with the orange front sight. I love that, that is sexy. And then we have the Legion Precision compensator on here, which we definitely got to talk about a little bit more. So let's dive up close, let's take a look at all these parts up close, see what we think about them. Then we're gonna go over the range footage. We're gonna talk about whether or not any of these modifications have changed my mind about how I feel on the Glock 43. All right, guys, this is the Glock 43 build that we're gonna do right now. We'll have to do the SS80 build on another day. But got an OEM Glock 43 frame, and I even have the OEM slide that came with it. This was based on a stock Glock 43. So number 1, we got this Shield Arms slide package right here that came with the mag extension. And we'll talk more about different packages and prices and coupon codes here in a little bit. But this one is their urban gray camo, and you get a good look at it up close. I mean, that is just sexy. Look at that. Very nice serrations on the rear. They're not overstated, but at the same time, they're also very, very functional, and they're not slippery. You got a couple of serrations on the top and a very tiny logo. This slide is aftermarket, but they did say that it will work with the SS80 as well as the OEM Glock 43. This mag extension here is from Shield Arms. I've been carrying their stuff for a while now, and this one is no exception. It runs flawlessly, and it adds 2 rounds of capacity to your Glock 43 magazines. It also works with the ETS group mags if you have those as well. Right now, it has the Apex trigger. It's the trigger shoe only because that's all they make for the Glock 43. And then it has, I believe, a minus connector. Yep, and it has the Glock 43 I believe it's the Ghost minus connector in it. Now this, I'm gonna put the mag in it because we're gonna do a trigger pull test here. I did want to say something that I didn't like about the Glock 43 was this trigger was like 7 or 8 pounds. It was like ridiculously heavy, even for Glock. And that minus connector basically just brought it down to this typical 5 pounds, I believe. But let's check it real fast. I'm gonna hold this trigger blade safety in while we pull it, but let's see. So yep, right there, right at 5.5 pounds, just under. And that's what it feels like. Now for the Apex trigger, you know, I've always liked these triggers because I love the way this trigger shoe feels in your hand. I like the way that it feels on your finger. It's got very little take up and then breaks right through. A little bit of over travel. I mean, this isn't meant to be a competition trigger, but it definitely cleans up the trigger pull a whole lot. So let's jump up top, let's go over the range footage and whether or not these custom parts have changed my mind about the Glock 43. Back up top. So before we get into all this cool stuff, let's talk about whether or not we're gonna get the Glock 43X or the Glock 48 for the channel. I don't know which one I wanna get. For those of you who don't know, the Glock 43X and the Glock 48 are basically a Glock 43, but with a 10 round capacity. They basically have the same grip length as the Glock 19. The Glock 48 has a longer slide, which makes its side profile the same size as a Glock 19. But that kind of like, in my opinion, kind of defeats the purpose of a single stack gun. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit thinner and stuff, but I don't know why you'd want a gun the size of a Glock 19 and then have it only carry 10 rounds. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you live in a slave state where you can only have 10 round mags, might be kind of cool then because it's a little more concealable. But anyways, let me know down in the comments which one you would rather us do a build on. Let's talk about the range footage. You know, at the range, no surprises here. This thing ran reliable, just like all my other Glock builds that I do. No failure to feeds, no stovepipes, no erratic ejections, and no light strikes. I mean, I didn't change any springs out, so it shouldn't get any light strikes. So that's good. It's reliable. I mean, I do like the Glock 43. I think it's a great concealed carry option for women because women's shoulders are a little bit narrower than their hips, whereas men, our shoulders are wider than our hips. Therefore, we can conceal things better because of the way our shirts fall over our waistband. Women typically have a little bit of an easier time with these guns, and a lot of girls that I've seen on Instagram, they swear by these. For the guys who really want deep concealment, you know, this is definitely a great option. You know, you take off the compensator, put a flush mag on it. I mean, you could tuck this thing anywhere in your pants. So I think it's an amazing gun for that. The reason I don't like it was for those 3 reasons that I stated earlier, but also because I can carry this everywhere I go. I have 15+1 in the gun and I have 20 rounds as a backup. This thing conceals like a dream. If you haven't seen my holster video, I'll link it below so you can see that. That's what I carry. I either carry this gun right here. This is my Glock 19 Gen 5, or I carry my M&P 2.0 and I carry it in this holster right here, or I carry my CZ P10C, which I don't know where it is at the moment. I like bigger guns. I don't quite like the giant full-size guns and I don't like the tiny guns. I'm kind of like Goldilocks. I'm right in the middle. I need something that's just right. So these slides right here, according to the Shield Arms website, they are compatible with the SS80 frames as well as OEM Glock 43 frames. I'm not 100% sure on what the compatibility of parts is going to be with the new Glock 43X and Glock 48. So once I get one, I'll be able to tell you guys about that. So we'll talk about that in the future. The slide, it literally functions just as reliably as my OEM slides that I have. So nothing but great things to say about there. In the design, like I showed you up close, I really like the understated looks about it. It is that urban gray camo and how it matches their +2 mag extension. I think it just looks really sexy. The serrations, they're not super aggressive, but they work really well. Like I showed you, you can pull it no problems, just like that. Little serration on the top, very understated logo right here that you can barely see unless you're really looking for it. So the slides, they're good to go as far as functionality and the way that they feel, and the recoil impulse is nice and light. We got the compensator here from Legion. If you guys didn't see my video, I literally took this compensator right here. It was not designed for a Glock 43, it was designed for the Glock 19, but I ran it on my Glock 43, my Glock 26, my Glock 17, and my M&Ps, and all my guns basically that have threaded barrels. I ran it on there and it functioned almost on every single gun. I'll link to that video down in the description so you can watch it after this one. So the compensator, I have a coupon code for these. They work really well. And as you can see in the footage, it definitely mitigates the recoil quite nicely, helps it shoot a little bit flatter. The True Precision barrel, I've been running their barrels for over a year. I mean, I like a bunch of different barrels. And the thing about barrels is I haven't really found one that's really any more accurate than the other one. The main thing comes down to which one do you like the looks of the best and which one has the best wear characteristics on the coating. This one is holding up really well so far after I've only got about 100 or so rounds through this gun because it's kind of hard, 8 at a time, 6 at a time. Barrel's wearing pretty decently. The Agent Night sights right here, really dig these. I like the sight picture that's on them. I like orange front sights because my eyes pick them up better. And then we have Old Faithful Apex trigger with the minus connector. Nothing over the top, at least for my channel. I mean, if you guys haven't seen my other Glock builds, just go check out my playlist. I either like to keep things super simple like this, except minus the trigger. Or I like to take them over the top like this. You know, I don't really have a middle ground. Another thing I really wanted to address was if you're in the market for a subcompact gun and you want to get a Glock, should you get the 43 or should you get something like where'd I put it? Like this Glock 26 right here. Interesting story about the Glock 26. I am more accurate with this gun with OEM sights than any of my other guns. I don't know what it is about the Glock 26, but there's something about it that makes me incredibly accurate with it. Hey, maybe it's a placebo effect. Like I showed you earlier though in the video, I don't like the fact when I press out that my finger gets hung right here when I go to hit that trigger. I have to consciously think about pulling my finger back before I drop it. Whereas on any of my other guns, boom, you know, it's no issue. Like that. That is something that is important to me because when you're under stress, and unless you are always training with this gun, then that could be an issue if you have longer fingers. Now, setting my bias aside, because I don't really care for single stack guns in general, let's put that to the side for a second. Overall, every single part on this product are parts that I've been using for quite a while. I've been using True Precision barrels for a while. I've been using their mag extensions, Apex triggers, minus this, the sights, the slide, and the compensator. I've only put parts in guns that I know that work well. Everything has functioned flawlessly. If you are the kind of person that likes a Glock 43 or has one, I can definitely recommend all of this stuff. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your feedback. But until next time, I love you. You guys stay sexy.